All right, what's going on, my friends? Fifth quarter. I am Chad Doing. I got my partner Chris Burkhardt here. We got a chance to sit back and enjoy a Blazer victory tonight at Moda Center against the LA Lakers. And you know how it is in this town. Anytime you can drop the hammer on the Lakers, it's a good night. And that's what the Blazers did. Thanks to Damian Lillard, who was hotter than a pistol tonight. And it's just a lot of fun to watch him play basketball right now. I was convinced he was going to come back and return to MVP form coming off the surgery. And he's done that and then some. 40 points tonight. 30 of those came in the first half when they built a 19-point lead at the break. And the game was over early. They made short work of the L.A. Lakers tonight and dominated. Dame with 40 points, 13 of 23 from the field. He was a scorching hot 8 of 14 from three-point range. And he led the way, man. He set the tone. He got them going early, and the Blazers were able to do what they need to do to win games, and that's make shots. And they did that tonight. 47.4% from the field, which is good. A sparkling 23 of 47 from downtown. Good for 48.9%. It's pretty simple. You hit 23 threes, you're probably going to win the game. And you combine that with the fact they only turned it over 7 times. They just kicked the Lakers' ass. Excuse my language. That's all they did. They just punished them. So that was nice. The Blazers playing without Jeremy Grant. The Lakers without LeBron, who was dealing with a, quote, sore ankle. It wasn't a problem when he was traveling to Arizona for the Super Bowl yesterday and getting booed by the fans down in Arizona, but it was too much for him to make it back to L.A. and play in the game tonight, or in Portland, I should say. But the Blazers able to get the win, and I guess the first player I want to talk about is one of the newest Blazers, Matisse Thybulle. He got the start tonight, and he and Cam Reddish played the forward spots along with Eubanks, with Simons and Lillard in the backcourt. 26 minutes for Thybulle, 14 points, 6 rebounds, had a couple of assists. He was 5 of 9, very efficient tonight, made 4 of 6 from three-point range. Now, I don't expect 4 of 6 from 3 every night for Thybulle, but what a great replacement to Gary Payton II he is. Number one, he's not a giant pain in the ass for the team and his teammates, but he's strong, and he's very long, and he stands much taller. Like, when you think about the things that Portland needs, what are the 2 most important things, aside from a new owner? Well, it's size and it's defense. And by unloading Gary Payton II, they were able to bring in a guy in Thybulle who is younger, more athletic, and brings more size. And he's a better defender. In fact, this is amazing to me. As many of you have probably heard, Thybulle has made the all-defensive team twice. Twice. Not once, but twice. Now, I've had a lot of people tell me which Blazers over the last 6 or 7 years are good defenders. Like, I was told by many in this town, including people that work for the team, Al-Farouq Aminu is a lockdown defender. Oh, really? Has he ever made an all-defensive team? Has he ever even gotten a vote? The answer to those 2 questions is no. Thybulle's made it twice. So Burkhardt and I were talking tonight, and we're like, you know, Thybulle's been on 2 all-defensive teams. When was the last Trailblazer to make an all-defensive team? I want you to think about that for just a moment. Who were the last Blazers to be on an all-defensive team? I picked one of the guys and was right. Now, there was a guy who came before he did, and I couldn't remember his name. I vaguely remembered where he played before he got to Portland, but I couldn't remember his name. So Chris went in and looked it up. So Burkhardt, I love the stat, and I love the players that you gave. But prior to Matisse Thybulle, who are the Trailblazers who were all-team defenders, first or second team? Who are they? Who are the names?
All right, let's blow your mind for a second. The last time a Blazer in a Blazer uniform made an NBA all-defensive team was in 2004 when Theo Ratliff was a second-team all-NBA defender. Before that, or next in line would be Scottie Pippen in 2000, who was also second-team. But to find the last Blazer who was first-team all-NBA defense, you have to go all the way back to the year 1991. Buck Williams was a first-team all-NBA defense.
All right, so prior to Thybulle, the 3 guys are Theo Ratliff, Scottie Pippen, and Buck Williams. That's not a very long list, but you can see the way Thybulle plays. His ability to recover, he's physical, he's got length, he causes a lot of problems out there, and he's one of those guys with just natural instincts. You saw it tonight, and Billups was praising him. And I got to thinking about it tonight. I was still a little shell-shocked. I felt bad for Nasir Little and also Shaden Sharp, but especially Nasir, who, has battled through injury. He's been here for an extended period of time, but he couldn't even crack the starting lineup when, Josh Hart's out, and they trade him to New York. Cam Reddish gets the start. And then tonight, not Nasir, not Shaden, but they put the two new guys in there, Reddish and Thybulle. Now, I thought Reddish didn't really play a good game tonight. He struggled. You could tell he looked like a guy that was playing with the new team, and he looked like a guy that hadn't played a game since December. So it's somewhat understandable, but he did not look good tonight. But Thybulle was terrific. Thybulle was on point. Thybulle was aggressive. And on top of that, with his defense, he was able to make an impact with his offense. And I like his attitude. I like the vibe he brings. And I like him mostly because his name's not Gary Payton II. I'm so glad that GP2's out. And the Blazers get a fresh start with him. But Thybulle looks good. And so I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, what are the Blazers' problems right now? Let's see here. They lack size. And they lack defense. Going into the game tonight, I believe they were 27th in the league in defensive rating. That's not a good way to roll. Not a good way to roll whatsoever. Let's check the latest numbers. Going into the game tonight, the Blazers were 27th in the NBA in defensive rating. So size and defense is an issue, especially with the starting lineup, with Hart playing out of position throughout the year. So why not put Thybulle out there? You got an all-team defensive team defender, get him out there on the floor. It's not going to hurt anything. They had Hart out there. He wasn't a very good shooter. Get Thybulle on the floor and allow him to provide some protection for the rest of the guys on the floor. And then, moving forward, when you have he and Grant, and then at some point eventually Nurk, you'll have some guys out there that can cause a little bit of havoc. And that's the way it should be. So props to Thybulle. Looked good tonight. Great to see him in a Trailblazer uniform, and the Blazers able to get the win tonight. And now they'll finish up tomorrow night against the Wizards at Moda Center before the All-Star break. And, this is a team, guys this time of year need a break, but this is a team right now that's been through a lot the last few days. Just to get through this, get into the All-Star break, and get a week plus to be able to recuperate and refresh and refocus on the final 24 games of the season. It's going to be good for the guys, and especially for Dame, who is just balling out. Now, we've grown accustomed to seeing it, right? And when you see something all the time, I think there can be moments where you maybe don't appreciate it the way you should, but Dame is balling out right now. And you've got to make sure you enjoy it because he's 32. He's not going to be able to play at this level forever, so just enjoy the moment. And it's one of the great things about this team right now. There's a lot of bad things about the team. They're not the best team in the NBA. They've got issues, but Dame is not one of them. He looks sensational. Man, he looks good. And the Blazers were so hot tonight, hitting 23 threes. Take a listen to this wild exchange after the game with Darvin Ham, the fat Derek Fisher, when asked about the shot making by the Trailblazers. According to Ham, the analytical data said they were playing good defense.
You mentioned the term tip your hat. With Dame, it was, I think he had 4 30-footers, and on the tape, it looks like a lot of them were contested. But overall, on some of your other defensive perimeter possessions, did you feel like they were getting an abundance of open looks, the Blazers?
No, we checked the analytical data at halftime, and according to that data, we were, our defensive shot quality, we would have been number one in the league because they were contested, they moved the ball on some of them. Some of them, it was by design. Certain guys that we gave, shifted even more off the ball. But, credit to them. They made shots tonight, 17 threes and a half. It's incredible.
I love that. Blazers made 23 threes tonight, shot nearly 50% from downtown. But, hey, according to the data, we were balling out on defense. It's all good, man. All good. Sorry,
Come on,
Coach Ham.
You know a coach doesn't just watch the game and then go look at a box score and the data and go, oh, yeah, we were down by 20 or more for large chunks of that game, but according to the data, if a pitcher gives up 5 home runs and his team loses by 1 run, doesn't mean he pitched a good game.
You know what that is there? That's like the Blazers a couple of years ago when they were pushing that nonsense. Remember the PR department pushing the idea of clutch defense?
Yes.
It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. No one ever pushes clutch defense. It's like, no, you guys suck at D, and I don't care how you try to manipulate the numbers. There's no such stat as clutch D. You guys blow. All right, just be real.
Yeah, it's like our pals down in Corvallis, the best college town in the Pac-12.
I mean, I have to admire the effort by a coaching staff to come up with a whack number or a stat to try and protect your job. But come on, man.
Like, I'm surprised these
Clutch
guys don't
D.
have stats like Major League Baseball, and I'm a baseball junkie, so is Dwight. And the stats that they have, crazy. I'm surprised NBA doesn't do that. Like, nobody hits more three-pointers than Damian Lillard when the temperature inside an arena is 10 degrees warmer than it is outside the arena. Like, some nonsense like that to push about how great he is. You know what I'm saying? Because Major League Baseball does that.
There are a lot of great things tonight, aside from the analytical data that Darvin Ham was examining at halftime. Boy, Shaedon Sharpe can get up. He had a dunk tonight where it looked like he took off from the free throw line. He cocked the ball behind his head. He's like 20 feet up in the air, and he's smiling. And his hair is flowing behind him. It looked like a cartoon, but he's midair with the ball cocked, getting ready to throw a rim rocker, and just smiling. It didn't look real, but it happened. I saw it. Awesome. He's so good.
I know you've done it because every sports person has, but like you've had the dream where you jump from like the 3-point line and you just float and then you dunk. And in your dream, it's the greatest feeling ever. That jerk gets to live it. He gets to do it in reality. Like, he is a legit superhero. Like, he might be a mutant. It's unreal.
That's what I think. It is. He flies for a moment. He can get up so high. And I used to do the same thing with my buddies when we were younger. We'd have the dunk hoops out in the driveway, and we would pretend to be Michael Jordan for a couple of moments and do our foul line dunks or whatever. And then you realize how hard and unbelievable it truly is.
Yeah.
The guys can get up like that. But that's what Shaedon did tonight. That picture that's floating around, it's like cocked, smile, hair flowing. It's like a commercial. It's like that guy can do that, but he makes it look easy. And I thought Shaedon tonight in extended minutes, check this, 25 minutes. And this is what we're going to see throughout the rest of the season. Where his minute total is going to go up, Burkhardt? 15 points, 3 of 5 from 3, hit 6 of his 10 shots, but sprinkled in 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And that's a 19-year-old.
And I have noticed, too, I think he's getting so much more comfortable. Like, he earlier in the year, he was still having these highlight plays, but I felt like a lot of the time he was playing stiff, which just comes from finding that level of comfort and finding your groove. Like, he's playing like a basketball player right now, like a hooper, right? Like, he is free-flowing. The body's loose. He's just finding his groove. And it's a thing of beauty because the three-point shot's starting to fall. He's shooting that with confidence. He's moving around better defensively. And then, of course, you have these just highlight dunks. I wish, like, bubblegum chewing was a thing in the NBA. You remember Adam Jones? He's a former center fielder. Played with the Mariners for a while, then went to Baltimore. And there was this highlight where, like, he robs a home run. And as he's jumping the fence to rob the home run, he blows a bubble. Like, as he catches it, just, like, ultimate. So wouldn't it be cool, like Shaedon Sharpe jumping from the free throw line, like blows a bubble, boom, and then like bubble pops right as he slams the ball? Like, he would be the guy to do it.
It'd be great. MJ used to chew gum from time to time, and I remember seeing SportsCenter way back in the day. Bo Jackson in the outfield. You remember the bazooka gum?
Yeah.
That you would open up and it would come with the little comics. He would open up his bazooka and he would check out the comic, pop the gum in, and go about his business in the outfield. I was like, that's so cool that Bo can be that cool, that awesome, and take time to read the comics from the bazooka bubble gum.
Yeah. Like, gets like one of like you remember like the popsicles that have like the jokes on the stick.
Yes.
You know, like you see Bo Jackson doing that, like walking up to the plate, telling the catcher the joke, and then just hitting a bomb. Like, that's ultimate swag right there.
Yeah, very casual, very chill. But the Blazers tonight shot the ball well. Dame on fire, 40 points, 30 of those in the first half. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 of 14 from 3. Shaden Sharp was nice tonight. 6 of 10, 3 of 5 from 3, 15 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists. 11 points off the bench for Nasir Little. 8 points apiece from Trendon Watford and Jabari Walker. Trendon Watford just continuing to capitalize on the minutes he's getting from Chauncey Billups, playing with energy. And while he may not be the most talented guy in the league, he does what the coaches ask, and he plays hard. And I respect it. Matisse Thybulle, 14 points, 4 of 6 from 3, 5 of 9 from the floor. Cam Reddish struggled tonight, 5 points in 18 minutes. And Drew Eubanks with the start, 6 points, 9 boards. Just 14 from Simons tonight, who struggled from the field, just 6 of 15. But when your backcourt mate's going to be just fiery hot, it doesn't matter. The Blazers, 23 of 47 from downtown. They cruised to victory, 127 to 115. They were up by 15 after 1. 19 at halftime, and pushed the lead to 22 going into the fourth quarter. We'll come back on the fifth quarter. When we do, we're going to hear from Matisse Thybulle. Brooke Olsendan caught up with him after the game. 503-248-0620, your telephone number. The Blazers will finish up the first half tomorrow night against the Wizards at Moda Center, and then they get an extended break for the All-Star weekend before they will close out the final 24 games of the regular season. Chris Burkhardt, Chad Doing, a pleasure to be with you on this Monday. It's the fifth quarter.
It's time for the Nothing But Net Shot of the Night here on the fifth quarter, 620 Rip City Radio. The Nothing But Net Shot of the Night is brought to you by Oregon Dungeness Crab. Sustainably harvested, uniquely delicious, and always wild. Oregon Dungeness Crab always sounds good for dinner.
They got 1.6 seconds remaining here with the 31-19 lead, and it's into Dame. Dame puts it up from 35, and it's good! Are you joking me? Damian Lillard doing the right thing. Unbelievable. Lillard hits the 10th three-pointer for the Blazers in the first quarter with 1.6 seconds left. Moving to his right, probably 35 feet out, and he drains it. Damian Lillard, you are something else.
All right, a couple of shout-outs I need to give based on a couple of things I saw tonight. First off, Rich Burke, who is a good friend and a really good guy. Voice of the Hops now. He was voice of the Portland Beavers for years. And he's done a lot of different work on TV, radio. He's done it all. He's a pro's pro. He stepped in tonight for Travis on the radio side. Travis was doing TV. And big props to Rich Burke. He sounded good. Not good. He sounded great. He sounded like he belonged, like he was part of the family, like a pro's pro. And one thing I can tell you about Rich Burke, he's not going to make it about himself. He's going to be extremely prepared, and he's going to go out there and do a professional job for you. And that's what he did tonight. We'll get a chance to hear Burke on the call tomorrow, as well as Travis filling in for Calabro once again, who's getting some extra time before the All-Star break to work through a cold and get himself well, and he'll be ready to roll for this stretch run. But Rich Burke was tremendous tonight. Nice work, Rich. Very nice to hear your voice on the broadcast. And then also another terrific radio buddy of mine, and he and I like to reminisce about the old school radio days on AM. My buddy Dylan Bershon is listening right now on this incredible wideband shortwave radio that you can pull up online, and you can access all these different AM radios across the world. So Dylan, what's up? Great to hear from you, my friend. It's the fifth quarter. I am Chad Doing. Chris Burkhardt is here. Your telephone number is 503-248-0620. And tonight the Blazers get the win easily over the Lakers, up big at halftime by 19, 22 at the end of 3, and they cruise and get the win 127-115. You know, Cam Reddish tonight, and I was just talking with Travis off the air, he didn't look good on offense whatsoever, but, you know, he brings size to the table. And Burkhardt was talking about that. If you look back at the deadline, of course everyone's going to be bitter because they didn't land Kevin Durant, but what they needed was defense and size. They get a great defender in Matisse Thybulle, and you've got a guy in Cam Reddish who gives you instant size. What I would do when Grant comes back is I would start Thybulle at the 3, put Grant next to him at the 4, and then you've got Cam Reddish sitting there on the bench to be able to come in and give you that instant size, which is nice. I got no issue with that. And like I said before, the game on game day, I don't know what the rest of the season is going to hold for the Blazers. I don't expect the playoffs. I think there's going to be some struggles, but now it's going to give you a chance to see what these guys can do. Play Reddish, play Thybulle. They're both going into situations where they're going to be restricted free agents. You got to make a decision on those guys and help, take a look at, see what they can do and make a determination whether or not you're going to bring them back. And then, of course, after that, it's just get Shaedon Sharpe more minutes. You got 20, almost 26 tonight. Just get his minutes up there, 25 to 30, 25 to 30. Get him on the floor, let him get more comfortable, let him continue to grind, and that's what it's all about. And Dame's going to be Dame. I mean, Dame is he's in the zone right now. He ain't messing around. He is looking to jack guys up out there. He's got the game face on. He is not screwing around out there. He's just killing fools. He's just out there playing chess, and he's making it look easy. Man, he's nasty. And he was, hot tonight. He came out with a mission. 30 points in the first half, finished with 40, game over. And then, like I mentioned before, when you get someone in the locker room like GP2 that was a problem, and you remove that, and you replace them with more character guys, and I wonder sometimes, too, with GP2, it was a mistake. A bad signing by Cronin. Didn't like it when they did it, and it turned out to be a bad one. But he made the right choice in cutting his losses and moving on. And I just wonder with that, if maybe that was a favor to Goodwin because he shares the same agent as Dame, and maybe you rush into a decision to sign a player without doing all the little details that you need to make sure you're going to find the right fit for your culture. But good franchises find a way to move on quickly from a mistake, and they were able to do that. And the trade is final. We'll see what the NBA investigation uncovers, but Blazers got to move on. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number. 503-248-0620. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Matisse Thybulle. Brooke Olzendam caught up with him after the game on the floor. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 9 from the floor, 4 of 6 from 3. Here he is after the game.
Have yourself a debut, Matisse. You were fantastic on both ends of the floor. How did you feel out there with your new team tonight?
I felt comfortable. It was a good feeling to be out there with them. I mean, these guys play hard. They play together. They play the right way. It was a good night.
You had 14 points, 6 rebounds. You had a steal. You had 3 blocks, but none more impressive than the one on Beasley, who was shooting a 3. How did you get to that?
I couldn't even tell you. Instincts. I think I might have closed my eyes even.
Well, you still got to it. You were fantastic, though. And the defense tonight, you guys, 17 three-pointers in the first half. Were those contagious?
Absolutely. I mean, when you see Dame get it going, like it's super contagious. And like I said earlier, we were playing the right way. And when you do that, like the ball's going to find energy.
You've played against Damian Lillard on different teams. You've seen what he can do. How did it feel to be a teammate of his tonight and watch him front and center?
It was kind of surreal. I mean, for all these guys. I mean, watching Shaden dunk was crazy. Watching Nas, like, these are really talented guys, and to have them be on my team now is pretty special.
Well, I've been talking to fans. You're already a fan favorite. Could you feel the love tonight?
Oh, my goodness, yeah. I mean, I grew up out here, so it feels good to be back home.
Feels good to have you back.
Thank you.
There you go. Matisse Thybulle, one of the newest Blazers tonight, looking good and physically strong in length, defense, and appears to have a pretty darn good attitude. 503-248-0620. Also, I want to bring this up. I've got it out on all of the station social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter. I've got it on my Facebook and Twitter. But there's now, it was set up over the weekend, but there's a GoFundMe that's been set up for former voice of the Trailblazers, Brian Wheeler, who is going through some issues. I spoke with Rachel Taylor, who has been helping him. She's a nurse. And Wheel's right now going through a lot of issues physically and financially. And so he needs our help. Plain and simple, he needs our help. And there is a GoFundMe that's been set up that you can access for Brian Wheeler. And I'm going to put the link out again. And you can find me on Twitter at Chad and Rip City. And it gives you a chance to reach out and help. The best thing I can say about Brian Wheeler, from all the early days in radio, when I had a chance to meet him, when I was around him, when I had a chance to work on a show, Wheels After Work. And from that moment, when we became friends, he was always very generous and very gracious, and he would give me or anyone else the shirt off his back if he needed it. He was often asking people to go out and do this and do that. He would pick up the tab. He was just always very generous in everything that he did, and a great voice. One of the best in terms of talents that I've ever heard. So there is a GoFundMe page that's up for Brian Wheeler right now. He needs our help, and if you'd like to help out, you obviously can jump on board and be able to do that. And that's what Rip City does. We take care of our own.
Yeah, I just dropped the link in the YouTube chat as well, and I pinned it. So if you're in there looking at the chat, it's right there at the top, just the GoFundMe link. Click that, and it'll get you right where you need to go if you happen to be watching on YouTube as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Brian Bergman has chimed in. Hey, Chad, I'm telling you, Shaden Sharp is going to be a stud. He's got mad athleticism. He's just scratching the surface. Imagine how good he'll be in 5 years. And, yes, we are lucky to have Dame. Guy is unreal and a class act. Hashtag Rip City. On a side note, I would pay terrific money to see Matisse Thybulle and Gary Payton II in a cage match. I'd love Matisse to just kick the crap out of him.
Oh, Gary Payton wouldn't make weight or would back out last minute due to an undisclosed injury.
He would. I can't make it, man. I'm not 100.
No amount of Toradol is going to get me through this fight.
503-248-0620. I still can't get over this headline. NORAD commander doesn't rule out aliens. So we got stuff flying over our cities that are being shot down. It could be aliens. Like, that's the best we got. I mean, Burke, that stuff's killing me.
I want to see, like, CNN or Fox News or something bring on the crazy-haired guy from Ancient Aliens to start talking about the balloons. Like, the design of those balloons, it just didn't look of this earth. Aliens, and just dive in on this hardcore. iHeartRadio, don't we have, like, a coast-to-coast AM with George Norrie somewhere? Like, here we go.
I've got Levi, who's turned Matisse Thybulle's name into a new medicine. If you have a heartache or headache, try Thybinol. Maybe Gary Payton should try that. Gary Payton II. Oh, boy. I've read too much and a lot more than I cared to about Toradol over the last couple of days, too, I might add. Let's go out to the phones, 503-248-0620. 503-248-0620. We'll start with Josh Baker. Josh, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Very well. What's up?
Well, I just want to tell you that I love you and that the fifth quarter is my family.
Well, thank you.
Did you want to meet Megan and Monica and all of us tonight?
Yeah, it sounds like you guys had a good Super Bowl bash, too.
We did. It was super fun, but I know that you guys hear far too much from me, so I want you guys to hear from the ladies.
Well, first off, before you go, Josh, what did you think about the game tonight? What did you think about Matisse Thybulle?
Yeah. Amazing. I couldn't believe that the first quarter, especially, felt like 3 after 3 after 3. It was insane. It was one of those games you just wish you can sit back and enjoy every single game. I do enjoy the games that are, nail biters, but a game like tonight where you're just hitting threes, I heard so many people tonight saying, don't you wish when you were in high school or something that you could have had that game where it was, you just felt that vibe where you're going to hit everything. Kind of like today. I don't know if you checked them out on my Instagram, but I went to the season ticket holder event. I picked the Court of Dreams, and I was hitting threes as well on that court earlier this afternoon. So that was kind of cool. So it was just a three fest. I enjoyed it. Thybulle, welcome to Rip City. And yes, everyone on YouTube and everywhere, I'm going to tell you right now, love wins over hate. And I am a Rip City fan to the core. I've been a fan since I was probably 10 years old. I'm going to pass it off to the ladies, though, because you guys do need to hear that Monica is real and that Megan is still alive. So here we go, guys.
Monica and Megan, how you guys doing tonight? What's up?
We're doing good.
All right.
Not being super over.
What'd you guys think about the game tonight?
Oh, my gosh. It was so exciting seeing there was so much energy, all those threes. It was fire.
Yeah.
I didn't go. Megan didn't go, but she'll be there tomorrow. Yeah.
That's perfect. I need you guys to do me a favor, though. You got to promise me something. You got to make sure moving forward, you got to have Josh keep his shirt on during his Instagram videos.
Yeah, you can tell someone only so many times.
It's like, come on, man. I'm a dad, too. I'm not walking around shirtless, I can tell you that much. Booyah! You guys have a good night. The Baker family here on the fifth quarter. Let's go out to Kaiser Mike. Kaiser Mike, what's up? Welcome to the fifth quarter.
Hey, thanks for taking me on, bro. How's your night?
Oh, it's great, man. Tonight was fun. Dane was on fire. Shaden looked like he was flying through the sky, and Matisse Thybulle, providing some energy and defense. Tonight was a great game, and anytime you can smack down the Lakers, that makes for a good night.
Oh, man. Well, thanks for insight. Yeah, I kind of bought some tickets on a whim tonight. Took my 4-year-old to his first game, and besides the fact he got the large Sprite soda and kind of splashed it, all over my butt, sitting up in the third deck. We had an awesome game. But
wait a second. First game, think about what you did there as a good dad. Your first game that you took him to was a Laker game, dude. Like, that's something that you're going to be able to remind him of for the rest of his life. That's epic, man. Nice dad work right there.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you so much, man. And, I was pointing out, which team to root for or whatever. It was kind of funny. He was, like, going for the yellow team. I don't know if that was, like, a Transformer Bumblebee thing or something, but I think he got into the play. We got in early to the game. He was hustling down to get down there to the fan zone, and we got to meet up with Blaze, and he had a heck of a time. But, I want to talk about the trades real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, besides the fact today, we obviously beat the Lakers. I kind of feel like, hey, LeBron was out, we had a couple of our starters out. I feel like that was a bit of a wash, but, a couple of years past, maybe one or two, trying to get, have my 2 cents on the air about bringing Matisse Thybulle in. It didn't happen in the past, but I think we brought in the two pretty good players, and Reddish and Thybulle, and Gary Payton, Jr. He didn't play a whole lot for us, and I just think we kind of dished off a few decent guys, but I think we got in some decent guys as well. So I just think it's a step in the right direction. I think we got a little bigger, a little longer, and, we got some picks, to boot. So I think our front offices, I want to commend them for taking a step in the right direction. It's not that blockbuster deal, but I'm optimistic.
No, it's great, man. I appreciate your points down. Now, Mike, before you go, what is your son's name? We got to give him a shout-out here on Fifth Quarter.
His name is Elijah.
All right, Kaiser Elijah, man. I'm glad that you went to your first game, buddy. That's awesome. Your first of many more with Dad. Epic.
Awesome. You guys have a good night.
Oh, you got it. There you go. There's Mike. How about that? Dude, when I was young, I was begging my dad to buy Blazer cable so I could see Magic and Kareem. I wasn't even asking to go to the Coliseum. He's like, no, I'm not paying $14.95 for a basketball game. All right, Dad, I'll see you later. I'm going over to Muckman's house. That's how that went down. Nice work. Let's go out to Chuck in Battleground. Chuck, welcome back to the Fifth Quarter. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing fine, Chad. How are you?
I'm well, man. It was a fun game to watch tonight. A lot of offense. Dame was on fire.
You got to watch it.
Yeah.
I got to listen to it.
Well, how did you enjoy Rich Burke on the call? What did you think about Rich Burke?
I think he's a good one.
Right.
I got a good question for you.
Yep.
Did Nurk ever get traded?
No, he's still on the team. He won't come back until after the All-Star break.
I figured that. You want him to be traded, but that's what happens.
I know.
I think they'll keep the same set of guys.
Yeah, I should have.
It's like, were you around when Clyde Drexler and Bill Walton and all of those guys were playing?
I was around for Clyde. Bill Walton in a Blazer uniform was a little bit before my time. I remember Bill mostly as a Celtic when he was a sixth man playing with Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Dennis Johnson.
Bill Walton was one of the players that was playing for the championship.
Yeah, he was the MVP of the NBA that season, and he was the best player on the team by far.
That's right. If they would think about it and get guys like Drexler and like Bill Walton and Terry Porter and all of those guys, we would have a championship team.
Yeah, that's pretty
much.
much.
They want to trade everybody off, and that isn't right.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of what ifs over the years here in Blazerland. You're right. I mean, they've come close multiple times to getting another championship, but they haven't been able to get over the hump, unfortunately.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. They keep trading like they traded the guys off the other night that were playing, and they shouldn't have. They should have kept them.
Well, I understand where you're coming from, but hopefully Joe Cronin's got a plan so that he can put something together, pull assets together, and make a big move come summertime. That's what we're hoping for, Chuck.
Well, I know that, but I'm just, I like baseball too, but I wish the Mariners would have a station down here that I could get.
Yeah, there's no station for the Mariners in town, and that's unfortunate, Chuck, because it looks like the Mariners, coming off their playoff season, are going to have another good team this year. All right, let's keep things rolling here in the fifth quarter. Big thanks to Chuck in Battleground, 503-248-0620. We heard from Kaiser Mike, who took Elijah to his first game, a Laker game. We got to hear from the Baker family, 503-248-0620. Chris Burkhardt and Chad Doing. Blazers top the Lakers tonight, 127-115 here on 620 Rip City Radio.
The fifth quarter poster play of the night is brought to you by Collection Connection, the leaders in framing sports memorabilia, team awards, and so much more. Collection Connection offers you a one-stop, full-service framing experience. Find them online at COLLCONN.com.
Long three-pointer put up by Simons. Side of the rim, no good. Offensive rebound, Eubanks. Shovels it out to Dame. Dame takes it down, gives it back to Eubanks for a flying jam. Drew Eubanks flying through the rafters here at the Moda Center.
Oh, hammer time.
All right, fifth quarter, Blazers over the Lakers tonight, 127-115. We'll go back to the phones in just a moment, but let's get you up to date around the association, courtesy of A&A.
The fifth quarter on 620 Rip City Radio presents the Scoreboard Report, brought to you by the Stadium Sports Bar and Grill, A&A's ultimate venue for sports fans every Monday night, featuring beer and wing specials and more.
All right, finals from the NBA tonight. The Hornets over the Hawks, 144-138 in Charlotte. LaMelo Ball finished with 30 points and 15 assists. In Cleveland, the Cavs topped the Spurs 117-109. Donovan Mitchell with 41 points. The Utah Jazz going to Indiana, knock out the Pacers 123-117. Lauri Markkanen with 29 points and 11 rebounds. In Philadelphia, the Sixers ripped the Rockets 123-104. James Harden, 28 points and 10 assists. The Denver Nuggets topped the Miami Heat down in South Beach 112-108. Jokic, 27 points, 12 boards. In New York, the Knicks over the Nets 124-106. Jalen Brunson finished with 40. The Magic going to Chicago topped the Bulls 100-91. Marquez Fultz, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. The Pelicans topped the Thunder in OKC 103-100. Brandon Ingram finished with 34. Timberwolves over the Mavericks in Dallas 124-121. Edwards with 32 points. Kyrie Irving 36 in the loss. Warriors 135. Wizards 126 in San Francisco. Wiggins 29 points and 7 rebounds. And, of course, your Blazers over the Lakers 127-115. 40 points for Dame. Anthony Davis 19 points, 20 rebounds, 3 blocks in the loss. All right, let's go back out to the phones. Let's go out to Danny, who's in Damascus. Danny, appreciate the call. You're up on fifth quarter. Fire away.
Hey, how you doing? It's been a long time since I talked to you, Chad. But
well, it's nice to hear you call back in.
I just wanted to call with one quick comment and say you guys were onto something, I think, and it's really sad that Shaden Sharp pulled out of the slam dunk contest because that would have been so cool to see him blow a bubble and slamming the ball.
I agree, man. The bubble while flying through the air to slam it down, but clearly I think what's going on there is the Blazers probably came to him and said, hey, you're either going to be starting or you're going to be playing a lot more minutes down the stretch, and we want to make sure you're right and ready to go. And so it's better to take that all-star break to a rest and get prepared. And tonight he played 25 minutes and looked great, 15 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists, and shot the ball extremely well, 6 of 10 from the floor.
Yeah, I got it. You're right. You got to have your priorities straight, but I just thought it would look really cute.
It would be, man, especially for a guy like that. And the thing is, he probably would have won.
I think he would have, absolutely. But anyway, that was my comment. You guys got everything else covered, so.
Well, I appreciate it, Danny. Have a good night, my friend. Appreciate the phone call. I mean, it would be fun to see Shaden in the dunk contest, but in the grand scheme of things, there are more important things. Would you rather win the dunk contest or, put your best foot forward to finish out your rookie campaign strong and, make a statement to the coaches that, hey, I'm ready to take that next step? That's what it's all about.
How do we know that the NBA didn't force him to pull out because they're like, that guy's going to go do a dunk that no one can ever replicate, and the dunk contest will never be the same, and it will ruin All-Star Weekend. So we can't let him do it.
We don't want to show up MJ, so we're going to make sure that we keep Shaden Sharp at home.
Yep.
But, it would have been cool to see him in the dunk contest, but, priorities are priorities. I've been told that, the Blazers are concerned about Shaden's work ethic and preparation, which would make sense. He's 19 years old. And when you haven't played a lot of basketball and next thing you know, you're an NBA player, learning how to be a pro, learning how to prepare, how to get yourself ready, all that stuff, it's tough. It's not easy. And I'm glad that Shaden is making the right decision to focus on the fact that he's going to get a ton of playing time down the stretch in the final 24 games following the All-Star break. Let's go out to Victor in Turkey. Victor, welcome back, my friend.
Hi, bro. I'm so excited. Thanks. I'm really excited tonight, because of what they did. They did a damage to Lakers. Quite a bit. And well, I have several news, but I want to make it short. First, I heard that about this game. It's obvious that it was great, and the two players, very exciting to see them. And also, I tell you, if these two players, they played last game against Oklahoma, believe me, in my heart, I believe they can beat them. And 44 points for Shai Alexander. He wouldn't be able, he wouldn't able 44 points. He would make maybe 35. Believe me, I'm a player. I know every game. He would score 35 because these two players in the middle of the reporter, an NBA reporter, he said these two defense player, Blazer, they clogged the defense. They clogged it up, and they said the Lakers, they want to get in. They said nowhere to go. I think it was one of the Blazer, maybe one of your friends that report the game. He said that they clogged the middle lane, and the Beasley or whoever it was, and they want to go in, but there was nowhere to go because they know how to clog the game. With Shai Alexander, no, he's a good player, but I think Damian is better than Shai Alexander as far as shooting the ball. He's better, much better than Shai Alexander. Shai Alexander is just explosive. He's like John Moran, very similar to John Moran. He can attack, with the energy, go to the lane and jump, but we have a similar player like Sharp. As you said, Sharp could be a star player like Shai Alexander, something like that. Sharp is that kind of player. But I want to tell you something else, Chad. I read in the YouTube just half an hour ago that Haynes is a TNT reporter or something, insider. He said the Warriors, they have another complaint to I don't know, you heard that, another complaint to Blazer about the Nance Jr. and CJ McCollum to the New Orleans. And he said that the Blazer has misleading back, all the history of the misleading the other teams. So that's kind of that was kind of bothersome for me to see that the people, they come after Blazer, especially the Warriors. I don't know what's wrong with the Warriors, but I don't know that is this Chris Haynes. I don't know he's a supporter of the Warriors or not, but that was I saw it half an hour ago, and I want to get your opinion on that.
Well, yeah, I'll give you the full detail on that, Victor. Basically, what happened is, we have this issue with the Golden State and Portland with the Gary Payton II trade. And the Warriors are concerned that maybe the Blazers were not forthright in all the information that they provided before the trade went down in regards to the Gary Payton II injury and the details and the treatment and so forth. Well, there were also reports at the trade deadline last year, whispers that the Blazers were not forthright in the information they provided prior to the deal involving Larry Nance Jr. And so what Golden State is saying is they want the NBA to conduct an investigation and look into the Trailblazers' dealings to know if they have been forthright in the information provided in these trades. If not, then they're going to seek some form of punishment or compensation based on the deal that just went down involving Gary Payton II. If the NBA investigates and they find no wrongdoing, then the trade is done and there'll be no punishment. The good thing is that from what I've been told, and the way that Godfather described it, is that when it comes to a player's medical records, treatments, injuries, there's all sorts of paperwork. There's a paper trail for all of this, and so when the investigation is conducted, because everything is detailed in this paper trail, they should be able to tell pretty clear if they provided all the information or not. So it should be pretty cut and dry. And then we'll find out what the details are. And the Blazers could get fined. They could lose compensation. We'll have to wait and see what happens, assuming that they did something wrong. I don't think so. According to what I was told, the Warriors weren't concerned about the reporting that came out from Shams and The Athletic and all the wild reporting that took place over the last few days, they're more concerned about the trade deadline last year involving Larry Nance Jr. trade and the information that was provided in that situation and the information that was provided from their staff to the Warrior staff in this deal with Gary Payton II. In regards to the opinions, each staff is different, right? So the Blazers doctors may have an opinion on Gary Payton II that may be one thing. I was told the Warriors doctors are a little more conservative in their approach, so their opinion may be another. We'll just have to see, through the investigation if they provided all the information or not. Final score tonight from Moda. Lakers get hammered by the Blazers 127-115. We'll come back on fifth quarter. We'll take phone calls, and we're going to hear from Coach Billups. 503-248-0620 is your phone number. Blazers one more game before the All-Star break. That is tomorrow night at Moda, 7 o'clock tip against the Wizards. I'll have game day starting at 4:30.
It's time for the Portland Trailblazers Drive of the Night here on the fifth quarter, hosted by Chad Dewing, 620 Rip City Radio. Drive of the Night is brought to you by Dick's Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram of Wilsonville, ready to compete with the lowest prices in town.
Little 3 of 4 on threes. Pass taken away. And Shaden Sharp at the other end. Windmill jam! What a tomahawk for Shaden Sharp! Oh, man. How many athletes in the NBA are better than Sharp?
All right, fifth quarter, where the Portland Trailblazers hammer the Lakers tonight by a final score of 127-115. Dame 30 of his 40 in the first half when the Blazers built a 19-point lead. They led by as many as 27. 22 going to the fourth. Easy work tonight for the Blazers. They hit a franchise-best 17 threes in the first half and a season-best 23 threes in the game. Shot 49% from the field, nearly 50%, hitting 23 threes tonight, and the rest is history. Blazers get the win. Wizards tomorrow before the All-Star break. All right, let's take a listen to Coach Billups.
It's time for the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups on Blazers Game Day, presented by Henderson & Daughter. Henderson & Daughter has been supplying superior design service, quality windows, entry doors, patio doors, and window installation to the Portland and Southwest Washington area since 1977. Before you decide to just replace your current windows or exterior doors, have our designers present you with a free in-home design consultation and estimate to show you the different styles we carry that can give your home a fresh new look. Henderson & Daughter, your window and door experts.
All right, here's Coach Billups following the victory tonight and get his thoughts on Dame and the rest of the squad, including Matisse Thybulle.
I thought his energy was infectious for us. He gets deflections, steals, blocks. He's just all over the place. So I was very happy with how he played. I'm pretty sure all the players, I'm sure y'all will talk to them about it, but he gave us a much-needed spark, man.
I think he's done that like one time in his career.
Yeah, and I expect him to, have some other nights like this. The biggest thing is empowerment. And not only that, he takes the shots that are open, which is important too. Whether you miss or make, you're rarely going to get two really good-looking shots on a possession. So if that's the shot that they're given, we got to just take that shot. And he did a good job of it. I mean, he missed one or two in a row, and the next one came and he shot it. I was proud of that. That's how we have to play. And if he's having a rough night, and the ball ends up continuing to be in his hands, then that's on me to make us up. But while you're out there, just play the right way. And if the right way is that swing shot, we just got to shoot that. Well, guys like him, they just cover up a lot of your issues, they clean up stuff for you. He's good enough that, he's on his guy and then the ball swings and he's in the gap and he's getting a deflection or a steal. He's helping somebody else out. He's just, I don't know, he's just that good defensively to me. So for us, to be able to have a guy like that is really important. It's important. You look at our defensive numbers, and we're not a very good defensive team. We've shown during stretches that we could be really good, but we've also shown how poor we could be. So to have a guy like that, I think it just breathes energy, into everybody.
He was mentioning he's felt incredibly welcome by you guys. How have you shown that?
Nothing different, man. That's just who I am. That's just who I just believe. I watched a lot of film on all of our new guys, and I just believe environment helps. And I've always believed, even as a player, when I was leading my teams, you just have to be positive. And even in negative situations, you got to find positivity. And I think most guys, excel better in those situations. And I think everybody, our whole team is embracing him. Obviously the front office, everybody's just embracing him. We're happy to have him, along with all the other guys too.
Chauncey, do you feel like Shaden has taken a step at this point? It seems like the last couple of weeks, at least offensively, it's looked, it's always somewhat easy for him, but it really looks like he's finding it.
Yeah, I was about to say it always looks easy for him.
But I guess to the other side of the ball as well, when you kind of where you're looking.
I think he's starting to understand more. The rotations defensively, he rarely has rough nights. He might have a rough 2 or 3 possessions, but he's able to tighten it up. He understands what we need more. Offensively, I think he's understanding when to attack even better now. We're starting to understand where he likes the ball plays to run for him. We're all learning each other better. But we're learning him more, which is going to help him because we can all help him in different ways.
It seems like also offensively engagement, maybe it's just from being more comfortable, but it seems like he's more present.
Yeah, and that's what comes with that. That's what comes with learning, our system and our plays. And he knows certain plays we call. It's like, okay, this is my time to attack, or this is my time to swing it. So he's starting to realize those things.
Tonight, how you think he fit in, and what's the dynamic like having two brand new guys out there in terms of how they fit with the three?
Yeah, he didn't shoot it well, but they're all gonna have those nights, and that's not. I'm not concerned when guys don't shoot it well. My biggest thing is their engagement. Just be engaged at all times. If you make shots, miss shots, it doesn't matter. Let's try not to miss too many assignments defensively. Let's try to play the right way. Don't take a bad shot when another guy's open. I'm worried about those type of things. And quite frankly, it's going to take them some time to get to learn our guys, just like it's going to take us time to learn what they do best. So I thought Cam was good, He's one of those guys that, you always got to, he's so smooth out there. Like, you don't know if he's really playing when he's out there sometime. And I'm like, nah, you got to pick up your energy. Tell him I had time, you got to pick it up. Let's pick it up, get more active. First play gets the deflection, So we're just all learning each other, but I thought he did a good job.
All right, there's Coach Billups following the Blazers' 127-115 victory over the Lakers. I like the fact that Billups acknowledged that, hey, we're not a good defensive team right now. We got a lot of work to do. No BS. We're not good defensively. We're 27th in the league. We're in the bottom 5. We're near dead last in the league. We got to get better.
Yeah, well, Matisse might help that a little bit. He's a very, very good defender. I think Cam Reddish has a chance to really help the team as well, just because, 6'8", long arms, athletic. Like, they got size. They got a really good defensive player. Still plenty of work to do. Don't get it wrong, but I do like these picks, or these pickups, especially Matisse Thybulle.
What'd you think about Shaden tonight?
I think he's a rising star, man. I think he's going to be really, really good. Like I said, he's playing a lot more comfortable, a lot more loose. He looks like he has a good feel for the game now. I remember this guy's going from not playing any college ball to now 50 games into an NBA season playing at that level. So there's a learning curve for sure, but I think he's starting to trust himself with it, which is huge. I think the players are starting to trust him. Like, he's starting to get a little bit of that swagger that you would expect from a number 7 overall pick. So loved his game tonight.
And Dame just looks awesome.
I thought he was supposed to be washed, right?
He's washed. He looks amazing.
He looks as good as ever.
Period. Good as ever. He really does. It was good. I know LeBron was out tonight, but the Blazers, no Nurk, no Jeremy Grant, to go out there with 2 newbies in the starting lineup. You get the surge from Dame, but other guys to step up and make shots. It's good.
I think that's actually a big win, regardless of LeBron playing or not, because basically, think about it this way. You're basically playing without 3 of your starters because there's no Josh Hart either, right?
Yeah.
So the guys that you have been starting in that lineup all year long, 3 of them are, one of them's gone, 2 of them are out with an injury. And so you're throwing in Drew Eubanks in there, who, yes, he's been there for a while now with Nurk out, but still not your normal starter. And then, like you just said, 2 guys who just got here, one of whom hasn't played a game yet with your team. The other one is playing his 2nd game in 2 months. And you go out there and you get the job done. Like, I think that's an impressive win, regardless of LeBron playing or not.
Well, I can't think of a better nightcap than this guy right here. Ralph in East Amity. Ralphie, welcome to the 5th quarter, my friend.
Well, hey, Chan, a nice win for the team here tonight, you got to think, right? Mr. I don't want to say what I think of the guy, but James, he was out. And by the way, did you see what he did at the Super Bowl?
I know that he got booed by all the fans who were there, which I enjoyed immensely.
Yeah, well, this is how tone deaf, as they say, he is. As he was getting booed, he picked like he was picking up a crown and put it on his own head, an invisible crown, and put it on his own head. He sort of waved at the camera and then picked up this invisible crown and put it on his head. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not very smart. Now, think about this. You guys, I don't want to sound like Chan here and be like, I'm in love with Dame like Chan is. But, can you even imagine somebody like Dame doing that?
Yeah,
or,
no, he wouldn't do it because his family and
Drexler.
friends would call him out. Drexler, MJ, they wouldn't do it.
Yes, I mean Scottie Pippen wouldn't even do that.
That's true.
Okay, and no tipping Pippen, as they called him, because he didn't tip waiters and cabbies and all this. No tipping Pippen wouldn't even do that, Chan. So anyway, you can tell that I'm not such a big fan of that knucklehead.
Well,
and I
not
don't
only
care.
that, but Ralph, think about this. His ankle, which kept him out of the game tonight because it was too sore, wasn't sore enough to keep him off the private jet and to walk around at the Super Bowl, but to come back to Portland and play a game that he's paid to do, that was too much for him.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like, okay, it's what do they call that stuff where they rest the players? They call load management.
Yes, load management.
Yeah, you do that too. I mean, you can decry all these players all you want, Chan, but I know you do that too. Yours is just a little more obvious because you don't put any pretense to it. You just go out and play golf.
Yeah, that's true. My load management is on the golf course.
Yeah, you just say, all right, hey, Burkhardt, take over. I was telling the kid this when he got on the phone, but this Burkhardt kid is pretty sharp. I've heard him
100%.
get some airtime by himself, and he's I guess you call him a rising star, huh? Would you agree with me on that, Chan?
Yeah, I would say he's definitely a rising star. He's similar to Shaden Sharp, the Blazers rookie, where I look at Burkhardt and I see the things he's doing right now, and then I project out, and I'm like, he's got Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah, the difference, though, Chan, is this. If Burkhardt was jumping from the foul line or the top of the key there to do that dunk and smiling, you wouldn't see his face because his hair would get in his eyes, and then he would miss the dunk.
And well, I'll tell you one thing that would be cool. I saw when Shaden elevated like he was jumping from the foul line tonight, he was smiling, and the ball was cocked as he's getting ready to throw it down, and his hair was flowing behind him. So I think if Burkhardt did it right, that his hair would be flowing behind him so he'd be able to see the face just like we saw with Shaden Sharp tonight. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, Burkhardt, he needs to do that with like a sandwich board on with advertising some Hawaiian restaurant.
Yes, or the steer. What is
yeah,
it, the steer company?
The original steer.
Yes, the original steer.
Ralph knows.
Yeah, in fact, I would do that if I bought the Blazers. I would make the players wear the original steer patches on their jerseys.
Yeah, that you'd for free, right?
Yes, I would do it out of a nod to the family.
Yeah. Now, where is that place at? I do want to go visit that. And where is it? The streets?
Just south 123rd and Division.
Yes, just
right.
south 123rd and Division. And I would say my favorite product that he has brought back is the beef jerky. It is phenomenal.
Well, good. There you go. So the original steer, folks, sign up today and like, comment, subscribe to the original steer. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So Chan, I know you reached out to Lizzie in my office about.
I did.
Some thoughts about. You wanted me to chime in on this Valentine's Day deal, like I do most every year. And I tell some of these young guys that come to work for me, when they start making some money, it's amazing. You get this ugly guy who stinks and drives a garbage can for a vehicle. All of a sudden, he's got some girl that's seems to be out of his league. And I warn them, and I've been right every single time. So, guys, let me explain this to you. It's a big deal, this Valentine's Day, to these girls. Now, they may sit there and say, "Oh, no, don't worry about don't worry about it." But I'll tell you what, if you fail, you are lower. Well, never mind. But you're just not good.
And that's a test, right? When they say
yes.
It doesn't matter to me, it's not a big deal, they mean the exact opposite. They're testing you, right?
Yes, and here's what a smart guy would do. Now, follow me on this, Chan. We've talked about this, so you know what's coming. Is a smart guy would, as I've said, people laugh. You take them to Taco Bell, and the thing is, you be a gentleman. You get the food, and you put it on that tray, and you bring it to them. You say, no, you just stay here, and you bring it to them, and if they need a drink refill, you get up and go get the drink. You're a perfect gentleman, but you're doing such at Taco Bell. Now, the test comes, Chan, in A, the attitude that she has during this date, and then B, what happens the next day and the next few days, and what you hear through the grapevine that she told her friends. If she tells her friends, you know, he was so sweet and he did this and he opened my door and he got me a little rose at the convenience store for 89 cents, one of those little things, and he did all those nice things like this, then you know that you've got, if she complains about that to her friends, then you need to cut your losses and run. If she's like, he was so sweet, he did all this stuff, and they're, you know, the girl, well, where did you go? And you can set somebody up to go ask her. And then you say, if she says, well, we went to Taco Bell, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was just nice to be with him, and, you know, he was such a gentleman, and all these things. If she just ignores the we went to Taco Bell on Valentine's Day part, then you got something. If you get somebody who complains, has a bad attitude, or is, you know, just likes what you did, then again, you got to cut your losses and run. Now, guys, you say, oh, yeah, thanks, Ralph. That's funny. Great story. I appreciate your comedy, Ralph. But let me tell you something right now. I can't tell you how many guys I've saved from abject failure and disaster by doing that. Because all of a sudden, you know, next thing I know, they're driving a decent vehicle because they're not spending all their money on her trying to impress this bottomless pit of emotion that just keeps wanting stuff from you. You know, that's how
right.
it goes, Chen.
Yeah, because if you go to too fancy of a restaurant to kick things off, then you might be setting expectation at an unreasonable level. Is that true?
Yeah, exactly. And you also, they will think, oh, this guy, you know, he's just going to spend all his money on me. Well, boom, there's the standard. And then if you don't, all of a sudden you skip 2 weeks. Uh-oh, boy, you know, she's grouchy pants, and just all of a sudden you're the scum of the earth, Jen.
Well, and I also think that if you can sit down, if someone is willing to sit down with you on a first date and enjoy a Mexi Melt and embrace the moment, like that's a keeper material right there, I would think.
Yeah, there you go, Chan. The Mexi Melt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got something there. Nothing says romance like a Mexi Melt.
I know. That's what I was thinking. It's like, hey, she shared the Mexi Melt with me, and right there, it's like, that's true love. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that is true love. Or you can get the Mexican pizza, and then, you know, you can, like, take one of those little quarters or eighths or whatever they are there, and you can hold it up and see, you know, give her a bite of that. And if she laughs and plays along and has fun, you might have something there.
Yeah.
If she just looks and kind of goes,
what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Yeah. Has a problem with it. Yeah.
Yeah, then you know you better just like say, okay, let's get in my rust bucket garbage can and get out of here. And, you know, drop her off about a block from her house and say, thank you. I don't have enough gas to get you all the way down to your house.
Send the message.
Yeah, you got to send the message, Stan. You know, that's the.
You're saving men right now, Ralph. You're helping people by saving men from big mistakes.
Yeah, and I'll bet you that Rachel there on the YouTube.
Yes.
I bet she would totally agree with me and say, yep, women know how much scammers women are. Guys are like, oh, she's good looking, and oh, look at that, you know. And women on the YouTube, like Rachel, she'll say, oh, yeah, women are snakes. You got to watch out. They're catty and this, you know, they'll agree with me, guys. So if you think, oh, Ralph's just an old curmudgeon, no, that's not true. I've learned all this stuff from Lucy, who worked in my office, who Chan dropped the ball on and didn't date, and wishes that he was part of her soon to be revenue check from when we sell back the towing business.
Well, if you told me she was going to become rich, I would have been a little more snappy in my response.
Yeah, well, I could have told you she was rich when I saw her selling sprinkler heads at the landscape convention, and when I walked up to her and said, "Hey, you ever been to East Amity?" And she was like,
"No one can move sprinkler heads like Lucy."
Yeah, is that a restaurant? What, you know? And so anyway, Chan, I'll let you go, and you got stuff to do here, and you know,
Happy Valentine's Day, Ralph.
Yeah, now, you know, you people in Portland, if you're a guy that's, you know, stay home, you have a good wife there, and you're going to do something nice, you go out to the Original Steer out there by Division, wherever they said it was, and you get yourself some nice steaks, and you get them all set up from the Burkhart family out there, and you come home and you fire up the grill in the winter. I don't care that it's 35 degrees. You can do it. And then you go out there and you just cook a nice meal out there for her, and you bring it in, and you'll be considered a savage amongst little boys.
You know, they usually have a deal with like a tenderloin and a lobster tail pack because it's like a great Valentine's Day dinner. But I started doing it, and they'll still do it by order, but you take the tenderloin, and they usually come in a perfect puck, right? But you cut out the middle, form it into a heart before you put you sell steaks in the shapes of hearts, the people that request it.
How about that, Ralphie? Heart-shaped tenderloin and lobster tail.
Well, all that tells me right there, that explains why Burkhardt has 2 or 3 or 4 kids right there.
a lot of heart-shaped tenderloin going on there.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, I remember, this was that one. It was a T-bone I made the heart shape out of for the youngest kid, anyway. So, all right, well, you have yourself a good night, Shan. I'm glad the team did well, and, you gotta just take them one at a time here and go with the ups and downs, and maybe they'll get in the lottery and get another young kid, and they'll have like a 19-year-old and a 22-year-old on the team.
Just promise me that if you're ever on the big screen or you get on TV at the Super Bowl, I want you to pull out your wallet and show them a $100 bill. Show them hundreds.
Yeah, well.
Do something.
Yeah, hundreds is what you were saying. I like that's more reason. That's better, Chan.
Okay.
So you have a good night, and hope you don't get stuck on the golf course tomorrow.
There you go. Don't worry. It's going to be hideous
See you later.
tomorrow. There's Ralph the landscaper. Heart-shaped tenderloin and lobster tail. That's genius, bro. I was just getting ready to ask you what the appropriate cut of meat was for Valentine's Day, but you answered it.
Well, it's a tenderloin regardless. It's that is the best one. That's what you want. But yeah, you take that and you cut it into a little heart. And we wrap our tenderloins in bacon, and then you stick a little skewer through it to keep the bacon on. So if you cut it into the shape of a heart and then stick the skewer, it's like the arrow through the heart. It's money. It's money.
Think about how many people your dad has brought together over the years with the meat.
Through food, right?
Through food, man. It works.
It ain't diamonds, baby. It's food.
All right, you got any final thoughts tonight on what the Blazers did? Anything? What's popping in your mind?
No, but I hope that they replicate what they did tonight, tomorrow. And I'm not even talking about the win. I'm just talking about the fact that this was the closest that this team has looked to that early season run since that early season run. And it wasn't that they won in dominating fashion or anything. It was just the fact that the team was looking like they were actually having some fun playing basketball, right? Everybody was moving. The tempo was pushing, which was super nice. The two things you and I said pregame were what? Attack them with the three-point shot, push that tempo, make them uncomfortable. They did those two things, and it led to a win. And, man, you saw Matisse Thybulle getting blocks and then smiling and having a good time. You saw Shaden Sharp smiling it up. By the way, he was number 3 on the SportsCenter top 10 for that massive dunk today. So that's what I want to see, more so than the win-loss. I just want to see this team continue to build off that forward momentum where you're just having fun playing basketball. Because there's been a chunk here, Chad, where it just looked like they weren't having fun coming to work.
Yeah.
And they did today.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
Yeah, right? So if you build off that, I think it's huge. By the way, Matisse Thybulle did say in his post game, like, I grew up here, so it's kind of fun to be back. And people are like, what? He grew up here? Not only is he a Washington Husky, he spent a lot of his formative years. He was born in Arizona, but he went to Skyline High School, so he basically just outside Seattle. But he's a Northwest kid, so it's kind of cool to have a Northwest kid back between him and Drew, right?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, until you reminded me tonight, I forgot about Thybulle being up at Washington. We got a couple people here. Jake Moe and the Orb are talking about Panda Express. Haven't eaten there in a long time. Fat Joey Joe wants to know if Chipotle is still safe. Hope so. I just ate there not too long ago.
Yeah, because they started by talking about the trips that Taco Bell sends you to the restroom.
It does.
And I came in and I said the post Taco Bell bathroom trip has nothing on the post Panda Express bathroom trip. That's where they went down the Panda Express rabbit hole.
When I was in high school, Taco Bell had this is one of the greatest things ever, $59, $79, $99 menu.
Oh, yeah.
So you go there $5, you're eating like a king. Those are the days right there.
$5 isn't going to get you anything now.
Nothing.
I very rarely eat fast food. Like, I prefer to cook, or like I prefer to go to like a little higher quality restaurant. But not too long ago, my kids love a Happy Meal. So I'll stop and get them a Happy Meal whenever they want one, nice dad, right? And, but my wife and I are each starving too. So we each got a meal too at McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Simple meal at McDonald's, 2 Happy Meals. That was more than $30.
It's absurd.
I was like, for McDonald's, what are we doing here? This is unreal.
I know. It's terrible. All right, what was your nickname? Because I'm getting some for Sharp. Shaden the T-Bone Sharp.
Oh, Nick, you can't even keep up. Nick has too many of them, but someone said Transformer in there, and you like that one. I think we got to stick with Sharptimus Prime.
Okay, that works. Sharptimus Prime.
Sharptimus Prime.
Take that, Nick. Sharptimus Prime. Shaden the Top Dog Sharp. Kenny in Vancouver loves the filet mignon. Can't argue with that.
That's where it's at, baby. Get them tenderloins. I'll cut them into a heart for you.
Shaden Popcorn Sharp. Come on, Nick. Now we're trying too hard. That Diablo sauce at Taco Bell.
See? This is why people love the fifth quarter and YouTube specifically, because we get down to the main issues that the fans are really worried about.
See, the Orb knows what I'm talking about, man. 59-cent, 79-cent, 99-cent menu.
Yeah. I'll just tell you this, man. Nuggets are cool and all, but there ain't nothing better than back in the day when the Blazers hit 100 and you got a free chalupa. That is where it was at.
They used to give free chalupas out. What do they do now?
It's
like
the Nuggets.
Oh, dumb.
Who wants Nuggets?
Our kids.
Yeah, our kids, exactly. And see, and like I said, my kids always love a Happy Meal, Chad. So I always stop and get them a Happy Meal. They're like, Dad, I'm so hungry. Can you please give me a Happy Meal? Please, I haven't eaten all day. So you go and you get it. You get them a 4-piece chicken nugget Happy Meal because that's what they request.
And they don't eat it all.
They eat half a nugget, half the fries. All they wanted was the toy.
Drives me crazy. My daughter does the same thing. Well, when I was a kid at McDonald's, they had the, I think it was a 6-piece, a 9-piece, and a 20-piece. And I wanted so bad to get the 20-piece. And one day my dad got me the 20-piece, and I couldn't crush them all, man.
Yeah.
I was ashamed of myself. It's too much.
So growing up, here's a fun, quick story. It won't take long. But growing up, my grandma on my dad's side, she was the head lunch lady at one of the local elementary schools.
Uh-huh.
My grandma on my mom's side was the manager at a McDonald's. And they would also always take leftovers or things they could get for cheap. So if I spent the night at my one grandma's house, it was the burgers and hot dogs and the cans of chocolate milk.
Yes.
From Lynch Meadows.
Uh-huh.
They also had these things that were called Taz shakes that were like chocolate milk, but if you shook them up, they got like the consistency of a milkshake. They were amazing, right? I don't know what the heck they put them in. They were awesome. But then if I went to my other grandma's house, the freezer was full of quarter pounders with cheese and all the McDonald's fixins. When you go to grandma's house and she's like, oh yeah, there's some McDonald's apple pies in the fridge. You're like, oh yes, as a kid, heaven, baby.
Yeah, that was the great thing about Nana and Papa's house is that they always had the food that I always found it amazing. They always had the food that I wanted. And then I realized as I got older, it's because Nana would prepare for those moments.
Yeah.
But I loved McDonald's breakfast, like going there for hotcakes. I thought that was genius when I was a kid. And back then they were like 99 cents. 99 cents.
Mm-hmm.
We would go out to hamburger headquarters in Battleground on Fridays for 99 cent all-you-can-eat pancakes before school.
Yeah.
Those deals are gone.
They are, big time. Mark says I'm food shaming Taco Bell. I'm not shaming Taco Bell at all. In fact, I went to Taco Bell last week because when you get off of the fifth quarter at midnight and nothing's open, but Taco Bell is, yeah.
What do they have? Like now, like one place that is still good, but we only have one location in the area is like, what's the burger place down in Kaiser?
Oh, In-N-Out?
They're very reasonably priced.
Yes, they are. They are. They have always kept that.
The pricing low.
Yeah, they're like the fast food equivalent to the Costco hot dog.
I'm trying to think, where do we go? I mean, back when I was in high school, like Taco Bell was kind of the place. That's where we went most of the time.
Yeah.
And then I liked it when my mom would get Little Caesars hot and ready because they were like $4 for a large or $5 for a large.
Isn't it funny, like now that you're an adult, like all the things you thought as a kid were just like the most amazing thing ever? Like,
Just trash.
Like Little Caesars was one. Like if mom and dad, and like, but now you're like, now I know why mom and dad was like, I don't really want to do Little Caesars tonight. And like, because now I'm like, if the kids want pizza, I'm like, okay, I have like a ton of different alternatives. But then sometimes because you grew up with it, like that Little Caesars or that Domino's, it just hits the spot, man. It brings back the vibes.
I think that's what it is. It brings back the kid vibes. What my son likes now is he likes to roll over to Costco, and he likes to get the large pizza from Costco.
Mm-hmm.
That's very reasonably priced.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't try
How
to
much
walk.
are the hot dogs there? I
Like
don't
a
eat
buck
hot dogs.
50, like
Yeah,
a buck 50.
Gosh, that's cheap.
Hopefully Isaac never tries to walk 10 miles from his local Costco back to his apartment just because he wanted a pizza.
Well, you couldn't make it 10 miles walking with the Taco Bell. No.
Not if you ate it first.
Still can't believe that. I woke up and I was like, what are all these pictures of maps? My son got up at 2:30, took a shower, and walked 10 miles from Bellevue at 3 a.m. all the way to downtown Seattle to get to his bus on time so he could take a bus trip to Portland. Didn't tell anyone. Just thought, yeah, I think I'm going to do a day trip. Yeah, good call.
I love it. That's awesome. That's kid was just wanting to, do adult things, baby. I love it. What a good story. What a good kid you got there, Chad.
The orb felt like someone stabbed me in the liver and started twisting. Shaden the volcano sharp. Don't lie, you all. We all cheer for Luke Babbitt to make the 3 for the free chalupas.
Heck yeah, we did. Who was talking about in the chalupa? Chalupa way better than any other free thing they give you.
Oh, yeah, Pete Motley. Try Matt Pete. We as kids used to crush Skipper's fish and chips, brah.
I remember Skippers.
Oh, yeah.
There was that one there. I'm a Gresham kid. There was one there in Gresham off Division.
Yep, we had one in Vancouver over there by the mall. You're right,
Oh,
dude.
my gosh,
Pete,
that's
nice
a
call.
throwback. Oh, my grandparents loved the hometown buffet.
Oh, yeah. I just have this thing, like, especially as I got older, like, buffets, they creep me out. And that's because too many people around the food. It's weird to me. And that little strip of glass is not going to protect it from other people's cooties. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Shaden the Pink Panther sharp. Boy, Nick you're killing it, bro. Calzone to go from Ernesto's.
Big shout out Doco in Eugene. That's Calzone headquarters in that college town.
That's right, Kenny. You're right. There is that one in Hazeldale still open off Highway 99? I think there's still a Skippers off Highway 99 in Hazeldale.
There's still a Skippers. I might just have to go for nostalgia.
Oh,
Izzy's Pizza was another.
Oh, dude, the crust.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was money.
I remember the old lady that used to do the commercials. Like, she would turn the pizza around and bite it backwards, starting with the crust.
Yeah, my grandma, who was the manager at McDonald's, also once a manager at Izzy's. And on the nights I'd go spend the night at her house, Mom would drop me off there, and she would just give me a handful of quarters, and I'd play that Simpsons arcade game forever.
Oh,
because it was in every single Izzy's.
Dude, like, it wasn't. I grew up in Oklahoma. Like, we didn't have Skippers. We had Long John Silver's, which is the same type of thing, fast food, seafood. They still have a Long John Silver's. It's over in Hillsboro, and it's over there close to the baseball stadium. But it's like a half and half. One half of the restaurant's Taco Bell. One half is Long John Silver's.
I remember they started doing that for a while. You got the ones that are like half A&W's, half KFC's.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
I love that we were going to end the show like 10 minutes ago, and now the YouTube chat is just on fire. Sue says that she worked at Skipper's and has worked at an Old Town buffet.
Oh, she worked at Skipper's and in a whole country buffet?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Rachel worked at McDonald's. I never worked at McDonald's. My first job was at the Red Robin over there by Vancouver Mall, and then I went from the Red Robin to the Keg restaurant, which was a seafood restaurant, kind of like a little nicer than Red Lobster.
Okay.
And I did busboy, and then one night a week I did salad tender. So we made fresh spinach and Caesar salads to order.
Yeah, I never did the entry level fast food gig because I just went straight to the meat market. So. Still the same, though.
Well, I would have done the same if I, had a family that owned a business.
Yeah.
I would have gone straight to the meat market, too. But still, it's the same thing because your dad was there to bust your ass. You learn how to work in a work environment and get the job done.
Yeah.
It's not like your dad was going to settle for less than your best effort,
I remember getting in a fight at high school with my girlfriend, right, who I am now married to because that's how long we've been together. I get to work and I'm just all moping, you know, because he's got in a fight with your girlfriend. He's like, "Hey, get over here!" And he pulls me into the cooler and he's, "What the hell's wrong?" Nothing, Dad. Did you get in a fight in school or something? You and Danielle having trouble? I'm like, "No, I got in a little fight." He's like, "Well, I don't care. Knock it off. Get to work." Okay, Dad.
That's great, man.
Thanks for the pep talk.
The Orb said he worked at Taco Bell. He got fired twice in the same day, if you can believe it.
Twice in the same day? Okay. That's a good one. I like that.
Engine House Pizza in Jansen Beach. Now it's BJ's. I remember that. Oh, yeah. All you can eat shrimp at Skipper's. Yeah.
The Simpsons. Does this look like a man who had all he could eat?
That's so good.
Dude, see, that's awesome to all the people here. See? And so seriously, even if the food wasn't the greatest, you'd walk in there right now if you could. There was a Skipper's across the street.
I'd go over there with you right now.
Yeah, hometown buffet, just vibe, man. Just vibes.
Oh, yeah. Pete Motley. I worked at McDonald's. On our break, we'd make triple quarter-pounder Big Macs.
That's awesome.
All right, Pete, you got to hit us up on the chat. What was it like with the McRib? What's the story behind the McRib? Pete, what is the McRib all about? Give us the details on that. But, dude, when you're little, like, you just think it doesn't matter whether it's fast food restaurant or not. The whole thing, everything is, like, amazing.
Everything.
Did you prefer to go out for dinner or breakfast when you were a kid?
Oh, my goodness. That's a great question. I'm going to say dinner when I was a kid, because a lot of the times it was with grandma. And like I said, as a kid, you're worried about cooties. As a kid, hometown buffet was the absolute best because, yeah, Mom, you ain't telling me how much ice cream I can get in this bowl.
I'm doing the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, you are just maxing it out. As an adult, though, dude, breakfast out in the morning is just, it's next level. Breakfast is special. Well, it doesn't even have to be out at a restaurant. If you wake up in time to go get a Don Pedro's breakfast burrito, the day is going to get off to a good start.
Oh, that's good. I love breakfast burritos. Oh, Shannon the Hedgehog Sharp. Gosh, Nick, out of control. All right.
Pete tells you that was just fake bleep.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you for the trip down memory lane, my friends. All right, our next broadcast will come tomorrow. Chris and I will be back. Game day will start at 4:30. The Washington Wizards are in town. I'm hungry now, Chris. I think we're all hungry.
Agreed.
All right, your final score from Moda Center. The Trailblazers over the Lakers, 127-115. Show me your Blazer. For Chris Burkhardt, I am Chad Doing. We'll catch you tomorrow.